Okay, so I was just going to stop the film here and do the my thoughts on, but look at that name. Sunnath Rakshit. What the hell kind of a name is that? Is that how you want kids to pronounce your name? Oh, you're going nowhere, mate. Rakshit. Bruh, 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 bruh. There. I did the intro. You happy now? Okay. A little bit of context here. One of my good friends, DJ Free Electrical, he made an intro for my Thoughts On series, and I thought, okay, I don't, it would be nice to have an intro. I never really thought about making one for the series, but he made one, and what you saw there, that was all him. Not the video itself, but there's this thing going around on the server on Discord, this DJ's Advert Archive server. There's this like little running gag going around where people are saying BRUH. They've been kind of pushing me about a little bit with this joke. I'll be honest, I hate the meme so much. I really do not get it, and I don't get why people say it. It's really dumb, it's really unfunny, and, if I didn't put it in my next My Thoughts On, they'll probably go, "Oh, Clank, when are you going to do it? Go on, Clank." Well, I will only put it in this one, and that's it. Although, the intro did give me inspiration to make my own intro, so thanks, I guess, but I'm not going to say the word. Not yet anyways, and I won't be using the intro again. So, nice try, but this will only be a one-time thing. Don't expect more. Sorry about that. Okay, so that's out of the way. I'm sorry about that, and yes, his surname is actually Rakshit. Let's talk about this. Hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Clayton Zoka. Welcome to another My Thoughts On. Today, I will be talking about Postman Pat the movie. Now, for those who have been on my channel, subscribed to my channel for a while, you would know that I was going to do a crossover on this film with one of my good friends in real life. And since I don't do reviews anymore, unfortunately, I've had second thoughts about it, and we've been trying to do this for 3 or 4 years, but I've been extremely busy, and I don't really have the energy to do so, and even if I do the crossover, the video most likely will be blocked, just like most of my... if the video was blocked, it would just be like my other reviews. I think my Horrid Henry review is still there. I think Help on the Fish is still there. The rest of my reviews have been blocked, and after that, I couldn't be bothered. So yeah, I think this will probably end up being the same. If not, I'm still not going to do it either way. I've lost my my review spark. Technically, I'm still using it for the My Thoughts On, but I honestly don't feel like doing it at this point. There'll probably be people that'll be, better at reviewing this than me. It has been proven. There have been other people who have reviewed this film. You'd be surprised by how many people actually talked about it. So, Night Guard, if you're watching this, I'm really sorry I cannot do the crossover. If you're cool with that, that's fine. If not, then I'm sorry. There is nothing I can do about that. Yeah. Postman Pat the movie. I didn't see it when it came out. I was fascinated by the critical and audience response by the film. Um, yeah, that's all I've got. In order to talk about a film that's based on a series, everyone knows it's based on the Postman Pat series, and if you want to know what I think about it, I absolutely love Postman Pat. I think Postman Pat is charming. I think it's really relaxing. I think the animation, while not great, is nice looking. It's genuinely a nice kids show. It's probably one of my favourite British kids programs. Although I did grow up more with Thomas the Tank Engine and Bob the Builder, I personally think, even though I haven't watched too much of Postman Pat, I actually prefer it more as an adult. And don't get me wrong, I do like Thomas the Tank Engine, even though, like in my Thomas and the Magic Railroad review, my thoughts on, I'm way too old for it. Bob the Builder, same thing. Fireman Sam, I thought was always alright. Postman Pat kind of stood out to me because it was something that's like, it's like the Mr. Men series, the one from I think it's the 80s, the series where all the episodes are just adaptations of the books. It's like that show where it's relaxing, simple, and just kind of fun, and you can get inspiration from it. Any episode of Postman Pat I will watch. Maybe not Special Delivery Service, since that's something else, but even if it's the original series or the mid-2000s series where instead of Ken Barry, who narrated, I think, the first few seasons of the show, I think at one point all the characters had individual voices, so they had like voice actors voicing like Pat, his wife and son, Ted Glenn, and all those characters. Any of those I will watch because it's something I can easily watch and just enjoy myself because it's a really charming and nice show. I haven't watched every episode, although although thanks to this film I kind of want to, but I don't know. And for those who don't know, it's actually created by John Cunliffe, and I think he created the Herbs and the Wombles. I know he was in Rosie and Jim. Who remembers Rosie and Jim? I mean, I haven't, because I haven't watched Rosie and Jim, I don't think. It was also animated by Ivor Wood, who also animated the Herbs, the Wombles. I don't know about Rosie and Jim. So I think these two have worked on something together before. And now we come to Postman Pat the movie. This film was pretty split in terms of ratings when it came out. People said it wasn't too bad. People really thought, oh, this is the film that ruined the childhood of many. I remember seeing the trailer for it, and I just remember thinking, oh joy, another British icon movie, America, animated-ized, movie-ized. Basically, it's another British icon being ruined again. And then I saw it. I didn't see it when it came out, like I said. I saw it on YouTube. It was actually in parts, so the music had to be... There were times where there was like no music or sound because of copyright. I remember the film left kind of an impact on me. I don't know why. I don't remember liking it. I don't remember hating it. It just kind of left a bit of an impact on me. From the hate, the backlash, what people say about it. It's fascinating. It's honestly just fascinating. And it has been a while since I've watched the film. Now and then I just put it on. If it's on TV or on Netflix or anything, I use it as like background noise or anything like that. Okay, this is from the same director of Hoodwink 2, and I just discovered that Mike Disser is American. So this is like Peter Rabbit, where the director is American and it doesn't feel British. Well, is this the same case with Postman Pat, the movie? Well, There's only one way to find out. Let's just get into it. So, Postman Pat, the movie, is about Pat, or Patrick Clifton. He's voiced by Stephen Mangan from Green Wing. He's just doing what he usually does, deliver the post with his cat Jess, until one day he decides to try and go on holiday with his wife Sarah. He still works at the special delivery service, and he plans to get his bonus so they can go on holiday. However, the boss, Edwin Carbuncle, voiced by Peter Woodward, said that there will be no bonuses for Pat and, I assume, the other employees. He said that there's going to be new changes around STS and people have to work faster, and you know what this character is up to. Basically, he wants more money and he wants to take over the world with robots. That's not a spoiler, that's in the trailer. Stupid. So, Pat can't do that, I'm afraid. But there's a talent show going on, and it's hosted by a man named Simon Cowbell, and it's called You're the One. I'll let you guess what it's satirising. Both the celebrity and the talent show. I mean, it's if you live in the UK or if you know about it elsewhere or whatever, you know what it is. So, Pat enters the talent show and he blows everyone away with his singing voice, his singing voice is voiced by Ronan Keating, a very weird choice, and he actually has a place in the final, so he's hoping to win to get the holiday for him and his wife. However, there's also another contestant named Josh. He's voiced by Rupert Grint, or Ron Weasley from Harry Potter. But his manager, Wilf, voiced by David Tennant, doesn't want Pat to win, and so he goes out to Greendale to, you guessed it, to stop Pat from winning the contest. It even goes far to kill him. However, Pat has to focus on his on his singing, the contest. He also doesn't really have that much time for everyone else in Greendale. Edwin Carbuncle creates these Pat bots who take over his duties. However, people mistaking him for the robot as well. There's Mr. Brown, the CEO of Special Delivery Services. He's voiced by Jim Broadbent. He's just kind of there. And there's a robot Jess. Jess acts like a comic relief, and Pat neglects his family and friends on his fame. And God, this is a mess. This is the first problem you will get in a film like this. If you have too much going on, you failed. Unless you can find a way to make it different, you have failed. There is far too much going on for a film that's supposed to be for children. And even what's going on is not all that interesting. I'll admit the opening was okay. It did feel a little bit like the show, but from there, it kind of went a bit preachy. It felt... As the film would go on, it felt more preachy than charming or funny. I'll admit the film was a bit humorous, but it didn't make me laugh. I was just kind of amused by what I was looking at. And the humour and the slapstick is good, but for a film called Postman Pat the movie, it really doesn't fit. The original series had humour, but it was more like simple, like slow humour, like Peanuts or something. This one is trying to be like Hotel Transylvania or freaking I'm trying to think, or what is it? Madagascar. The humour is trying to be hip. It's trying to be fast and very cartoony. However, while it worked in those films, Postman Pat the movie's slapstick humour is too fast. It's too cartoony, and the fact that there's so much movement, and the film doesn't take enough time to have a pause. You're in serious trouble. You need to have slow moments. You need to take the time to like let the characters settle in their emotions and all that. You can't keep doing humour and humour and humour. I mean, there are emotional stuff in the film, and while it is, I'll give them that. It was, they did it nicely or anything. It didn't make me cry. It's a kids' film. You know what's going to happen, and there is no point in getting emotional if you know what the outcomes are. And the film's easily predictable, and you know what's going to happen. And even Pac becomes, I mean, he's a nice guy and all, but he does become a bit of an arsehole for ignoring and not taking any time to see his friends and family. I mean, how long has he known these people for? A long time. So why is he just... I get he's focusing on winning the competition, even though Edwin Carbuncle persuades Sarah to let Pat go, and he's kind of using him. Maybe you should at least go and visit your family and friends now and then. And he does kind of act a bit snarky and a bit too over his head. He's still thinking more about winning than anything else. I mean, I'll give the film credit that, at least as cliched as it is, they don't exactly try to go fully cliche. At least they try a few new things with it. But since the message of if your family and friends are not there for you, then you don't feel like you're a happy person or anything like that, it feels rather preachy and feels forced. The humour, like I said, can be slightly humorous, but it never made me laugh. I thought, oh, it's movement. It again, like Trolls and Trolls World Tour, it's eye candy, but not exactly good eye candy. Eye candy can be good if you can still tell a story and deliver some nice animation. Trolls delivered nice animation, and the story was just rather basic. This one delivers a story, and I'll get to the animation in a minute, but the story is very basic and far-fetched, and it really doesn't feel like Postman Pat. However, since I said the emotional moments, and they do make references to the show, I'll give them that they tried, at least. Maybe not hard, but they did mildly try. I'll give them that. At least the people have acknowledged the show's past. Even some of the characters that from the show return, like Major Forbes. I'm trying to think. Major Forbes. I can't think of who else, but not every character. Not every character from the show, but some of the characters, like from the original series, that you don't see in the 2000 series, they do actually make an appearance here, which is cool and all, but they're just used as, they're reference characters. They're there for references, or they are there for comedic purposes, and I mean that's fine and all, but it doesn't quite work. I'll give the film this: it did try to be a Postman Pat movie, but unfortunately it doesn't quite hit all the right notes. With how cartoony, slapsticky, and kind of how cringy and out of place a lot of elements in this film is, it doesn't feel like a Postman Pat movie. It feels more like a piss take on Postman Pat. Again, the film does still have heart, and the first few minutes does feel like the show, and it does work, even if the humour does kind of overshadow its charm and presence. At least it's not the worst writing I've seen for a film based on a TV series. No, I've seen far worse writing than this. Animation. The animation is rather naff. And I get this is supposed to be like low budget, and this honestly would have been better if it was like the animation from Special Delivery Service. That would have made the film better, at least in my opinion. Visually, the animation just looks alright. There's nothing special or amazing or nothing completely awful about the animation. It's, the animators did their job fine, and it just looks rather serviceable. The character animation looks rather dull, and all the expressions and looks, they have the same look as if they're from the show, but it doesn't look good. It looks rather strange. I mean, Pat looks okay. Even some of the residents of Greendale look pretty close to how they look. Well, except for Sarah, which is a bit odd. The backgrounds are nothing special. They look like something you'd see in like a video game or a straight-to-DVD film. Now and then it can have some nice textures and nice lighting, but nothing special. The movement and the way these characters move is off, especially when it's cartoony. It goes a little too over the top and a little too out of place. Like when a character moves, they move quite fast, and it doesn't feel like that's how the character moves in the show. Or for like someone like Wilf, when he trips over the coffee table in the coffee chat scene, he just kind of trips on it, and then the coffee table hits him on the head. That sort of like slapsticky humour would work in something like Looney Tunes or another animated film, but with Postman Pat, again, it just doesn't work with the style that this series is known for. It just makes it really awkward and not funny at all. The animation is it's honestly not the animators' fault. They did do the best they can with this film, and it does look passable at best, but unfortunately, since the low budget is low and it's not that good looking, the animation just looks like something you'd see on like YouTube or something, or like I guess it looks exactly like how a Postman Pat movie would look like. It's not bad, but I've seen better. Characters and acting. I can't really think of a character that I liked. A few of them did amuse me, but nothing that says, I love this character. Postman Pat is likeable and all, but at times when he tries to focus more on winning than his family at times, he can be a little bit arrogant and a little bit selfish. I didn't like him that much at all. He was a bit bland. Although, to be fair, in the original series, he was like that, but he had personality and he was likeable. Here, he just seems like a very average postman, a very happy postman. And I know that's what his character is, but there isn't much to him except he can now sing, which is never explored or never explained. That's weird. Sarah is just the happy-go-lucky wife of Pat, and she's a bit too obsessed with him. Julian is their son, who's just the typical boy who likes football. Jess is the animal sidekick, who's alright. He's not too bad. The other residents of Greendale, like Tenglen, Mrs. Goggins, PC Shelby, you've got Alf Thompson and Dorothy Thompson. The rest of them they're just there. Like I said, some of these are here for humorous reasons or just to be a reference to the original show. They're okay. They don't do much besides that, but there's nothing to them. The new characters, they're just exactly what they are, with personalities that are bland and just rather obvious. And they're not all that funny, really. They're just there. David Tennant as Wilf. Wilf was actually probably the only semi-funny character in the film, but he can be a little annoying and a little grating at times. Josh is just kind of there most of the time, but he plays on his like PSP, which is it's quite rude since he's on a talk show and he's also on stage. So, Technologies. Yeah, that's still stupid. Hate to tell you that, but it in all honesty, it really is. Edwin Carbuncle is a very obvious villain who wants to take over the special delivery service and the world. Seriously, enough with taking over the world. Why do you want to take over the world? If you just want to take over the company for money, fine. But you don't need to take over the company and then the world. That doesn't work. There's Simon Cowbell. I mean, besides David Tennant, Wilf, Simon Cowbell. Fucking hell, why can't they just call him Oh, that's still stupid. He's probably the only funny character in the film since he's kind of the voice of reason. He acts exactly like, well, you know who. And he does do the job well, and he's actually not voiced by the celebrity. He's voiced by, I forgot his name, but he's Medic from Team Fortress 2. The voice acting is, it's alright. Stephen Mangan does a passable job as Pat. He just sounds like himself, and he doesn't sound any different from his regular voice. Rupert Grint is okay. I mean, I can see him doing good voice acting. His performance as Josh is rather standard, and he just sounds like Rupert Grint, or I guess an older Ron Weasley for you Potter fans. Jim Broadbent, who's Mr. Brown, by the way. The character is actually kind of likeable, I guess, but actually Jim Broadbent's performance is quite good. He does sound like he's just being himself as always. Peter Woodward's performance as Edwin Carbuncle is actually fantastic. I love how pompous, devious, and posh he sounds. I do actually quite like his voice. I thought his performance was legit great. Funnily enough, he also voiced Dick Dastardly in that Wacky Races reboot. Who else? David Tennant is a joy to watch. Yeah, he can be a little bit annoying in this film, but he didn't really get on my nerves completely. He was a lot of fun, to be fair, and all I can hear was Scrooge McDuck and possibly Lord Commander if he wasn't Scottish. On a side note, this film has songs. However, I will give the film a slight pass for at least making them interesting, I guess. The Lightning song by Rupert Grint is actually quite good. I think it proves that he is actually a good singer. The Really Happy Postman song is actually quite catchy. I'm going to forget in a minute. The song by Ronan Keating that Pat sings is also good, but again, since this voice of a member of the was it Boyzone or Westlife, one or the other, since that voice is coming out of a Postman, it really doesn't work, as it doesn't sound like Stephen Mangan's speaking voice. The score by Rupert Gregson Williams is really nice. It's a really nice, relaxing, and feels very cinematic. Wonderful score and good songs. Yeah, my opinion on the film really hasn't changed at all. And again, the film has left a bit of an impact on me. I will say this. I don't think it's bad. I have seen far worse films based on a book or a series. Thomas and the Magic Railroad is probably slightly worse than this. However, comparing it to the other films of this year, I'm surprised people actually hated this film more than Pudsey the Dog the movie, because nobody actually went to see that. Pudsey the Dog is far worse. That's a worse film. This is tolerable at best. Postman Pat the movie may be a rather standard and average film based on a book. Series, don't know why I keep saying book. Or maybe it was, I don't know. But it's not it's really not that bad. It's if you got kids, they'll probably like it okay, but I wouldn't don't expect anything amazing. Just expect Postman Patness. The story can be a little bit all over the place. It can be a bit confusing. The humour is a bit too desperate and a bit too cartoony for me. The animation's a bit cheap looking. The characters are not really what I remember from the show. The new characters, some of them can be funny, and the rest are just stereotypes, I suppose. The voice acting's just fine, and the songs are good. The animation, at least, kind of looks a bit like the show at times. And I'll give the film credit for at least trying to have heart and a decent humour. I mean, not decent, but at least I had like one or two smirks. And David Tennant. I keep saying David Tennant, but when you hear his voice in the film, you can only hear David Tennant. Simon Cowell and David Tennant are pretty funny in the film, and I do like the songs from the film, and the score is quite good. If you're a Postman Pat fan, I don't know if you'll like this. I know there are people out there who really do not like the film at all. If you don't like it, I fully understand. It's not a film that I would watch constantly. I would probably watch it now and then, but not something to watch until I'm dead or anything. If you have like really, really little kids who don't mind changes, they'll watch it okay. If you want a good Postman Pat film, you won't find it here. Maybe you will. I know there are people that do like it, and I'm one of those people I'm a bit in the middle with it. It's a film that I don't think is bad, but I don't think it's that good. It still left a bit of an impact on me, and I don't regret watching it at all, actually. I think it's okay. It really is. So, I mean, I can see people liking it, I can see people disliking it. Unlike Top Cat the movie, I think I can see people... I can see people really, really liking this. I don't see anyone liking the Top Cat movie. That's a piece of shit. This is at least passable. Postman Pat the movie, I will give it a... What did I give it last time? I think it's a 5.6 out of 10? Something like that. It's not good, not bad, but I'm glad I watched it, and it still I still do kind of remember it a little bit. It's honestly not one of the worst things I've seen, but it could have been better, and again, obviously, could have been worse. So yeah, Postman Pat the movie. God. That was interesting. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do next for my thoughts on. It'll probably be another requested one, probably. Sorry if I haven't been doing any of my thoughts on this week until now. I was pretty busy with my short film. I was on the Xbox too, I was working, so sorry about that. Don't worry, I will get back to it by hopefully next week or the week after, so just stay tuned for that. And if you have seen Postman Pat the movie, what do you think about it? Do you think it's good, bad, decent? Do you want to see it? Let me know below. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. And until next time, I wish I was a postman. Although to be fair, it wouldn't be the right job for me. You have to deliver parcels and letters, and if someone's not home, you have to put the parcel like next to the door, and there could be burglars nearby. You have to take it back to the post office if they are not there. They have to go and collect it, and you have to knock on doors. You have to... I don't know. Pat's job seems piss easy to him, but for someone like me, I don't think so. No, I think it's... No. Good job, Pat, but I'll leave your postman business to you.